Motion acute healthcare provision for Sutton.
When supporting local services, all parties came together for the common good. The joint Labour groups of Epsom and St Helier suggested using the site of Ferguson House to start the rebuilding programme, and for a long time this became a favoured option. Many of us, I'm sure, owe their lives to Epsom and St Helier, yet the hospital in my ward is falling around our ears. The future of the hospital is very important to my constituents, not just because of the services it provides, but also so many people work there. I was given a guided tour by the CEO of the Trust a couple of weeks ago. In the delivery suite, the dedicated lift wasn't working, and women in labour had to be pushed along stark corridors with only the vinyl flooring sticking the concrete underneath together, which was clearly disintegrating. Corridors were blocked by beds and cardboard boxes. The administrator sat at her computer with buckets on either side of her catching the drips. Now there is a suggestion that births will take place at the new hospital, with pregnant women being encouraged to have home births if they're straightforward. This is not safe. We all know of cases, I'm sure, where a straightforward pregnancy becomes an emergency during delivery. If this emergency happens at hospital, mother and baby stand a good chance. At home, who knows? So many proposals have come and gone. Papering over the cracks again will not do this time. We cannot expect money will be available in these current economic times for the so-called 40 new hospitals. But when I hear that rooms at the new hospital will be single occupancy, then I'm concerned that this will be a private hospital by the back door eventually. Over the last few years, the overinflated, unbudgeted promise of 40 new hospitals, promised from a previous Prime Minister, is now a pipe dream, if it was ever going to happen. Let's be realistic. The promised amounts are being worn down by inflation, budget costs, material costs. There just isn't enough to build a new acute care hospital plus renovate the two others.
Over 3 years ago, the Conservative government pledged $500 million to upgrade our local hospitals, a scheme already predicting a 10% overspend. Inflation has since run rampant, and the original budget is reportedly being slashed to just $400 million. Meanwhile, the material price index for building work has also increased by over 30%. Well, what does this mean? Well, to successfully implement the IHT plans, we would now need closer to $750 million, a budget shortfall of well over £250 million. This was missed by a local GLA member. Be under no illusion, we both want and need investment in our local hospitals urgently, but these plans are not the answer. They remove vital services from both Epsom and St Helier: maternity, children's beds, critical care, and renal services, a loss of 62% of beds. St Helier's Class 3 A&E department will be no more than an urgent treatment centre, capable of handling nothing more serious than a fractured wrist. It will not save the life of your family member. Anything more serious, and you will be taken to St George's. You better hope it's not rush hour. 12 years of underfunding by the Tories has decimated our NHS and broken the morale of its staff. Staff are leaving the NHS in droves, and nurses have now voted for strike action. We have over 110,000 vacancies and a 7 million long waiting list. How then will we staff the predominantly single bedrooms proposed for the regeneration? We have been misled. These plans will not provide a safe environment for staff or patients. That's why we have put forward this motion to fight for our NHS. Under these plans, the IHT plans, I'm not sure I would have had final moments with my father, or perhaps have my eldest daughter with me now. Now is the time to support a cross-borough initiative to safeguard services at St Helier and Epsom. I urge you all to support this motion and the amendment set out by my colleagues in the Liberal Democrats, and disregard the optimism bias set out by the Conservatives. Thank you.